Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. When you move to a new country and your goal is to stay in that country for a long time, for example in Norway, moving to a new country can be challenging for a lot of people, and also you can face a lot of cultural shock when you move to a different country. And today in this video I will give you some advice and talk about things that might be different from wherever you come from. Number one, equality. Equality is in everything here. You have no gender equality, you have employees and their bosses, students and their teachers, and etc. Everyone in Norway treats each other as an equal. Means that in my company, if I ever meet the highest of the boss in the entire chain of command, I know that I can have a normal conversation with the boss without feeling things a little bit intimidating, or I'm a little scared of that person. I can shake that person's hand and say, call that person by their first name, and we can have a normal chat, like as if we were, equal. And I mean, that's the whole point of equality. And I don't have to feel oh, that person's like 10 times higher rank than me, so I have to, be like 100 times more respectful. I mean, we will both treat each other with the same respect. So if you are in Norway, never be disrespectful towards a woman by saying that, hey, you should or should not do this because you're a woman and you should know your place. And that's like a huge no-no. Don't ever say that. The same thing goes for a man. Like, if a man wants to have a career in a sector that's dominated by a woman, for example, if a man wants to become a nurse, which is mostly a woman, and don't ever tell a man that, hey, you're a man, you shouldn't take a woman's job. That's also a huge no-no. So, don't ever tell a man or a woman that they should or should not do certain things because of their gender. Number two, cost of living. Cost of living in Norway can be shocking for a lot of people, especially if you're coming from a poor country, because of how expensive things are here. For example, 1 liter milk costs around 22 kroners. A whole bread costs around 40 kroners in the grocery store. Now you may ask, how do people survive here when everything is so expensive? Well, that is because our salary is quite high. And even for people with low-skill jobs, their salary is quite decent. I mean, they're not super good, but that's enough for them to survive and make a good life. So before you move to Norway, you obviously have to bring as much money as possible and also make a budget. I made a video in the past about the cost of living here. You can check that out. I'll put a link in the description. And I recommend that, you're checking on the prices on everything as much as possible, because what you think is cheap in your country can be super expensive here. Number three, independence and privacy. I hear a lot of stories about expats having a hard time making friends in Norway. People in Norway are very independent. They like to make their own choices, they like to choose to do things their own way, and they hate being told what to do. So people in Norway don't generally give each other advices. Let's say you're having a lunch with your co-workers and you talk about your family and private life, and people don't tell each other what, hey, you should do this, tell your kids to do this and that, because that's disrespectful, that's kind of violating their privacy. And like I said, Norwegians hate being told what to do, even if you don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's something you just don't do here. Like, people don't give each other advices unless they ask for it. Respecting other people's privacy is important, so talking to strangers is not common and not normal unless it is Friday or Saturday night when everyone have been drinking about 100 bottles of whiskey. Then talk all you want, that's normal. The downside of too much privacy is that it is becoming impossible to make friends because people are so isolated. For example, you ask your friend, hey, there's a movie tonight, you wanna go? They might say no, even if they're not busy. Because Norwegians, if they wanna do something, they have to be mentally ready. So if you're gonna go out on a movie with a Norwegian friend, you need to ask them at least a week ahead of time, so they got the time to prepare mentally. Making new friends in Norway can be super challenging, and multiple international sources have confirmed this, where Norway just rank down the bottom when it comes to making friends. With all that being said, making friends in Norway is not impossible, but it's just very difficult. Number 4, law of jante. This might need an entire video, but for now, I'm gonna make it short. The law of jante means in practice that you have to keep a low profile about your talents, and if you have big ambitions, you have to also keep a low profile. For example, if you're good at something or best at something, you kind of have to keep a low profile. Don't say out loud because people might think you're arrogant or overconfident. You kind of have to say it in a humble way and also in a subjective way. Bragging is not something people do here, and if you start to brag too much, people start to thinking you are cocky or arrogant or full of yourself, and people might want to start social distance from you. Now, of course, not everybody follows the law of jante. Plenty of people don't care about it. They just show off and tell the world how great they are, and they don't care about the social norms they're breaking. This might sound super ironic, because in Norway, you can't say out loud that you want to be rich. The reason I said it's ironic, because we live in one of the richest countries in the world, and you can't even say out loud in public that you want to become rich. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope you also learned something. And see you next time.